In this demonstration, I will show you how to organize information for your app in a table. So if we go here to code, and we're in code mode over here, and go to data. So all code to do with data and records and storing information in a table are found under this green section here, data. So we're going to go to create record. And if you go along here and slide your mouse along here and get an example. So we're going to copy an example. So again, this saves us recreating the wheel. And go to the second example here, drag your mouse across it and copy it. You can right click copy, or you can go Control-C and close that. Now we're going to paste it in our code section. And we have to go to show text because we're going to copy it in text format. So it's in block format at the moment. It's in these kind of blocks at the moment. So go back to text. So show text and click in the first line there and just paste. So Control paste, Control V to paste. Now we can show blocks again, so we can read the code more easily in block format. And that's basically it. We've now created a table, the code for the table. So if we run our app, it should work straight away. What does this do? So let's have a quick read. Text input. It's going to take 3 inputs on the screen: name, age, and food. So you're going to put in your name, your age, and what food you like. And then there's a button called done. And when you click on the button, what happens? It saves whatever you put into the app, whatever you entered yourself into your app, it saves those to a table here. And the table is called favorite food data here. This is the table's name. And that's basically what it does. And okay, so let's see that in operation if we go to run. So the first prompt is, what is your name? So obviously this matches the prompt here in the prompt box here. What is your name? And name input. So I'm going to just tell my name, Sean. And the next one is, what is your age? So age input. So just put in your whatever age you want to put in there. I'll just say 50. What is your favorite food? So in pasta or something like that. Now that's called a record. Those 3 things together are called one record. That's one record of information about me. And when I click done, it's going to put that into a record, and you can see it there on the screen. It has a record created now called with a name of Sean, an age 50, and food pasta. Not only that, but you can click now on data here, and you can see the record in a table. So the table is called favorite foods. You can see it here. So if you go to data, you can see all this, and you see my name is there, Sean, 50, and pasta. Now, while we're at it, we can put in a second record. So put in somebody else. So put in Joe, put in his age, 40, and put in his favorite food. Okay, so if you click done, what happens here when you click done? It should update the record. And there it is, Joe, 40, steak. So you can build up a table like this with a record of information that then you can use for some other purpose again afterwards. Now, just to show you how to master this code for your own purposes, I mean, this is only one example, but let's go back now and see what we can do. So you've probably copped on at this stage what the prompt does. So let's change it, for example, to a premiership table or something like that for football. And instead of the first one being, what is your name, make it basically team. Just the team name and a question mark. So that's the team name instead. Now we're going to have to give the name of the team something meaningful as well. So we'll call this team 2. Just team. Like that. Now the second one, we'll just go wins, games played and points. So we'll just write down the word played there, P-L-A-Y-E-D. And over here we'll do the same. We'll do the prompt for what has to go into that box. So played. And the third box is points. And the prompt for that, which is points as well. As simple as possible for the first one anyway. So just to explain the difference, this is just a prompt on the right. On the left is the actual box, the name of that box, what goes into that box basically. what it's called. Whatever goes into that box is now called teams. So at the moment, so that's, well, okay, it's not working yet, but we'll come back to that. So this is the name of the team. This is the next box, how many games they've played, and the next box is how many points they have. Now, if I run it at the moment, it's not going to work because now we've got rid of some stuff here which is needed further down. So, but let's just show you what it does at the moment. So if we run it again, now at least we're getting this bit: team, played, and points. But if we start putting in a team and number of games played and points, nothing's going to happen because we haven't fixed the bit down here yet. So let's come down here now and fix this bit. What should happen when you click on done? Well, it should put all those into a table. So let's see if we can figure out how the table is working here. Well, this used to be called the name input here. So that has become team. So name input has become team. The next one has become played. We have changed to team, played, and points. Team, played, and points. Now, also, this whole record that we're storing on the computer, we're storing all these 3 pieces of information as one record, as a variable called favorite food data. And the best thing to do is, again, give it a name that's more meaningful than favorite food data. Call it something like premiership or something like that. So we'll call the variable premiership, or just PR. Premier, keep it simple. Now, that means that if you look at what I just took out there, that was favorite food data. So obviously it has to be replaced down here as well. So that's premier. And premier down here. And here. So that word has been replaced by premier everywhere. And here it is again here. And as I keep emphasizing, you don't have to understand every bit of the code to do all this. You just need to be able to cut and paste and change things around to see what they do. Do some trial and error to find out what happens when you change certain things. So this is also Premiere. And let me see. So again, now these 3 should change as well, because this was the name, Premiere.name. So call that Premiere.team. This is Premiere.played. And this is Premiere.points. Now, create a record called favorite foods. It's still called favorite foods. We better call it something else. Let's call it Premiere again. Let's see if that works. And we should be nearly there now. So no harm in trying that. The worst thing that happens is it'll give you an error of some sort down here in what's called the debug window or the console window. But let's try it anyway and see what happens first. So now run the code. And let's put in a team and see what happens. So now I notice we still have a line to fix here, but we'll come back to that line in a minute. So I haven't forgotten this one. But certainly up here, the record should be changed. Its name now should be called Premiere. The table should be called Premiere. And we should have, it should match up with what we're putting in here. So we'll say put in a team like Man United or something like that. Played, so they've played 10 games. Points. So there's 3 points for a win. So just for sake of argument, say they've got 30 points. So click on done. Now what that should have done if it's working right, actually you can see here there is one error, name undefined, name, age, and food are undefined. These 3 are now given a problem. But that's because we changed them up here. That's to be expected. So we'll come back to those. But what's more important for now is have we created a table or not, or a record in our table, I should say. Man United, 10 points, or 10 games, 30 points. So go to data now. And there you have it. If we go, we now have a second table. So that was the old one, favorite foods. We now have Premiere. And you see we have it. We have finally got what we want. Man United, 10 points, 10 games, 30 points. And again, you can just keep putting in teams now. So put in Liverpool, for example. Put in the same thing, 10 games, 30 points, whatever. And that goes in as well. So you can see before long, you can create your own table here. And so if we go back and reset our code and run it again, you're ready to go again and start putting in teams. Now, the piece of code that we didn't fix at the end, that can easily be fixed as well. So what this does is name record dot. So we'll fix that and we'll get name. So for example, that should be played. You know, the first one is teams actually. Team. The second one, age, is that has been replaced by played. So the first one has been replaced by team. The second one is replaced by played. It's just a label in front of it. So now we're out of space here. So let's just, it might be easier to show text at this stage. Go into text mode and try and edit it there. So you can see there, you might be able to go into text mode now and go across here. And so record. So the first one is team, record.team. The next one is played, record.played. So 1, 2, 3, D. And last one then is points. So if we go back to the last one there, we just go back again. Points. Record.points. So again, I'm purposely not getting into all the detail of the code itself. We can go into that some other time later. I'm just getting you up and running as quickly as possible with your apps, and cutting and pasting is the way to go to get started. You can always go back and learn the detail of these commands later. So record.points. So that should be it now. Let's try and run that again. So reset and run the code. So one more time, team, we'll say time, and played 10 points 30. Okay, so go back to data now, and now there's a third team in there, so that bit works. So go back again to the code. Now we notice that there's something here, team is undefined, record without, so go back to show blocks again. So you can build it up like that. So you can do, put in something you know that does work. For example, on the next one, played definitely works. Or maybe it's the capital letter it doesn't like, so let's try that. So T. So let's try that again now, because the other ones don't have capitals. So reset. So we put in another team. So team. So we put in leads. Lead 10 times 30. And try that. And that's it. That looks much better now. Team leads, played 10 points 30. So it's the capital letter that wasn't actually working there. So it just shows you. So you learn like that as you go along. You learn by trial and error that some things work, some things don't. So it turns out the capitals are important here in this particular line of code. And that's it. That's how you start creating your own records. And now that it's in a table, you can actually use that table for something else at some other stage in the app. And that's the end of that lesson.